Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I'm in the house with the Benchmade mini Bugout right over here. This is S30V steel, G10 scales. I mean, it's a pretty cool one. It's very famous, pretty popular, couple standoffs. But the liners are partial, let's say, you know, they just get to this point over here. In fact, you can see pretty much like flexing it with not much effort, so it feels like a cheap one. Honestly, it feels like flimsy, and we're gonna try to improve this little fella just by adding a couple of titanium scales and a carbon fiber backspacer to improve the overall feel, the overall structure, I would say, of the mini Bugout. So let's basically do it. So we're gonna need a T10 Torx a bit for the pivot, and I think that's a T6 for the handles screws. So let's just get started. Should be pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna start by the show side and just gonna take down. So there's 4 screws. I'm just gonna use these 4 slots just to remember the exact position of each one of them. That's the second one right there. And then you got this one. So be careful because these screws are blacked out. So you might, if you just are not careful enough, I mean, you could leave like a mark right there. All right, so that's done. We can just swap into our T10 and just do the pivot, which is captive, by the way, so that's a good thing. Pivot can be right over there. And then, let me see. So the scale should just come off like with a gentle wiggle like that, all right? And you can see that the liner is really short, just gets to here, and there's just plastic. I appreciate that they reinforced these threads, so it's not right into the plastic. These guys, they go direct into these standoffs, so it's fine. And this one just threads into this piece of metal right there. So, but there's not really actual structure, and this is kind of as a cheap feel. I mean, it's G10, so it's like a resin, so nothing too crazy about that. So, and also we're gonna install like this backspacer over here, but in order to do that, we need to swap the 2 standoffs with these 2. So we have to just undo the pocket clip first, like here, and it's also another T6 like the other screws, so at least there's a consistency. And this is out. We can leave those inside. All right. Also, something to notice really interesting is that these standoffs are keyed in, so it's really cool. You can't miss it, so it's very hard to make a mistake. So, for example, like in this case, this guy can only go like that, and then we're gonna be able to just screw that back in, like so, and that's it. So that's one standoff in place, and now we can do the same thing with the second one, like that. We're gonna use this guy in the keyed in position, which is like so, like that, exactly. You're gonna hear a click, and then just hit screw, can go back, like so. Don't over tighten anything. All right, so that's good, that's in place. Now the backspacer can just go in like that. All right, and then we can install the front scale like so. So this is gonna be the front titanium scale, which is keyed in. So also for the screws, handle screws. So on this side, you see it's just not aligned that well. The back is perfectly aligned. What about this one? This one doesn't really seem to be perfectly aligned. I'm just going to try to squeeze a little bit. Yeah, no, this is definitely not aligned. You see like a gap, so I'm just gonna try to squeeze a little bit stronger. Here you go, and it goes in pretty nicely. And then we can start from the back, just to screw back those. Let's see if that catches the thread like this. There you go. That's one. That's another one, like here. Let's just do gentle because we don't want to strip anything, so we want the thread to be catching like exactly like so. No. Oh, because this guy needs a little bit more, I think. There you go. Very good. Then we got the center screw. Nice click. So probably this can just tighten a little bit more. That is in. And last one we can just do like this. They're really tiny. And that's in as well. Beautiful. Now, for the other scale, we need to remove this guy over here. But first, let's just undo the screws here. And we're gonna place like in this direction. And that's number 2. And that's the third one. And that's last one right there. So like so. Now, you're gonna need something like this. Just a tool with kind of like a plastic tip, because we want this piece to come out from this side, but it doesn't want to come out. So we have a couple options. We can, for example, screw back this pivot screw right over here, and then just gently push the pivot like so. All right, from the other side. Then you just unscrew this guy, and then it's going to be pretty easy to push it down. Push it out, I think, but I'm wrong. There you go. So that's the pivot. Okay. And let's just remove, wiggling a little bit, the scale, like so. So that is gone. Here we can actually do just a little bit of maintenance. You can just clear that out. Check the bearing, the washer, sorry, there's another washer right there. So this guy can be like so, just like sandwich that, and just like this. Okay, we can just push that in and make sure that everything is aligned with the same tool. You can do the same thing. And then we're gonna need this guy, which is keyed in this way. So this is a D-shaped pivot, so we have to try to keep it like in this position, and just let me see if I can pull this off like that. Okay, so as you do this, you pull the lock backward, so you release the tension, and then this guy can go in. So blade is in place. Just check that everything is nice and flush, and you can just go backwards with your T6 and just do what you did on the other side. So basically, that's in. That's the second one. And you have 4 screws on both sides. 1 pivot. So pretty straightforward. Nothing too crazy going on over here. Just change that. T10 in. So now we can do, you know what? We can use a little bit of blue Loctite. Like so. Just a little. That's way too much. Yeah, something that's still a little bit too much. Something like that. Just use the blue one because it's gonna be easy to take it apart the next time. So, okay, now we're gonna check for centering, for the action. Oh, we just forgot the pocket clip, which it's gonna be in this side. One and 2. That's very good. And then we're gonna use a little bit of non-oil. I'm gonna use a 10 weight non-oil, just a little bit for the bearings, which I forgot to do before, but it's not a biggie because we have quite some room here. Let's just also do also on this side. Now let's check for action, centering and everything, so it's really stiff. Okay, so yeah, everything needs to be tightened up a little bit more. So, oh yeah, look at this. So just be gentle, you don't want to strip anything, so everything but has to be tight, like that. Like this one was fine. This guy, it's good. That's all right. Okay, cool. So now we are in business. All right, very stiff. I mean, already, wow, there's no more flex. It looks already super nice, guys. This is a little bit too tight. So we are going to unscrew just a little bit right over here. You can actually do this. So the knife is still new, still needs to break in. So see, there's not really a good action over here. Let me see. Yeah. So this one, even if it's completely loose, there's no drop shot action because this is like brand new. So, you know, we are going to, let me see, like that. Yeah, no, there's not really any action going on here because with DLC coated blade you need a little bit of break-in period to have like a drop shot action and some fidget fun. But yeah, I think this is pretty much a cool improvement, guys, if you ask me. A nice carbon fiber spacer and titanium scales. I think it looks good, but most of all, it improves the feeling in the hand. It feels sturdy, guys. Like feels like pretty solid, not flimsy. There's nothing moving around. I'm pretty satisfied, guys. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned.